Yes, we are. I'll pause the recording until he comes on, but he did check.
Dun, 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 dun.
Sorry, every time I get the link, like it has to go to the website, and then from there it has to open the app, and then it's a little bit of a mess. Hi, Emily. How are you?
I'm really good. I've heard a lot of wonderful things about your guys' meeting, so I'm super stoked to find out a little bit more about you.
All right, I'll see what I can do in the next 10 minutes here.
Yeah, so she's getting hair extensions.
Work speed.
Hair
What?
extensions.
Really?
Yes.
Wow, really? Holy
My hair's
mackerel.
getting shorter and hers is getting longer, so.
Yeah, that's interesting how it's working, isn't it?
I know.
And how did that?
Yeah, she was telling you how to whack out of wax.
How did you? Yeah, I did. I saw some of the older videos. How did you decide? Because I used to have long hair in the 80s, right? But that was a big decision. How did you decide to go, okay, that's it, it's over?
Two things. One is that we're really wanting to go more mainstream. And we did have some people who would say that I look like a hippie, you know. So I didn't want to get that typecast. It was affecting business. And also,
Really?
honestly, with shorter hair, I look younger. And given that I'm in partnership with someone 26 years younger.
He's 61.
Yeah.
Wow, nicely done. A new hero is born. I got to put you on my list. Jeez.
And she's not just cute and hot and young. She's like the smartest woman I know. Yeah, so when it comes
Wow. Well,
very wise woman.
for a little while longer, right?
So.
Well, I really enjoyed watching some of your videos, and some of the things I really love about your approach is your humor, your energy, and there's like a lot of youthfulness to your vibrancy and your content. So you make content much more accessible and inviting.
I try. There's a lot of, especially in marketing, and obviously what I'm doing for my brand is not what we do for all of our clients. It depends on we have lawyers and we have all kinds of different, we have nonprofits, so we speak in their voice. But for me, I just looked at it as like, in marketing, everybody gets really uptight. They take it really seriously. And there wasn't a lot of people that were making it funny. So for some of the videos, we make it funny. For a lot of the blog posts, I come from, I used to be a blue collar worker. So for me, I'm like, well, I'm just going to cut to the brass tacks. Let's get to it. Where's the meat of this? And let's talk about that and be real honest about it versus, like I could say a lot of fancy words, which are great, but it's just like, it's not going to speak to me. And I know there's a lot of people, obviously our readers and subscribers, who are like, yeah, you talk the way I talk. And that's really, even when we get into this conversation with our clients, I always tell them, and you guys are doing it in your videos, which is perfect, but a lot of people, they want to appeal to a lot of people. And I'm like, you have to be who you are, because when you let out the real you, the people that are most likely to really connect with you, it actually gives them that opportunity. When you're trying to appeal to everybody, you never get a really good connection. So be whoever you are, be as open as you can, because then your audience eventually will find you, but they're never going to find you if you're hiding it because you don't want to open up in front of, whether it's on the camera or in your blog post or whatever. And I understand there's a bit of professionalism depending on what you have, but for us, I'm like, just be who you are and let your audience find you.
Yeah, thank you. Our vulnerability and authenticity, those are two really high values for both of us. I mean, that's why sometimes I get on Facebook, like, we made a video where I was like totally going into a painful experience. I had no makeup on, just was having breakfast out there, and he's like, let's put this on Facebook Live, and I'm like, okay.
She's crying.
People love that. Yeah. It's like, it's behind the scenes, I'm not all dolled up, I'm not, putting the whole, and we have videos like that, but I think people appreciate more the authenticity of your humanness, when you don't have your makeup on, when you're not at your best, when you're having a completely human meltdown.
Our most recent, most popular videos have been where we honestly talk about a real trigger, a real problem that's come up between the two of us.
I called him an asshole the other day, so
why did Emily call Scott an asshole?
And that was the first time in 3 years.
First time in 3 years that she called me an asshole. So it was like, okay, let's put it on Facebook Live and process it. And people fucking they love it. You know.
Well, it's great because it showed like, well, this happens with anybody who's a leader. Like some of the things that I post about, even in my stuff, like I'll post things that I failed at. Like I tried this and this is not working. And a lot of people, you know, again, they want to have this perfect image. And the fact that people can look at you and go, okay, well, they're not, you know, infallible here. They do have the same struggles, because sometimes you present this image and people are like, they never come across these problems. Everything turns out right for them. And then, opening up and just being like, I mean, we're not perfect. We actually have to practice some of these things that we say, because we don't, you know, exactly. Yeah.
We do get sometimes that from people is, I could never be like that, or I could never do what you do, or even people that say, I can't even imagine doing that in a relationship. It's just too foreign, you know? And so it's like we get a lot of that, but just helping people see that, hey,
there are tools, and you practice the tools.
You got to practice the tools, you know?
Yeah, we do that a lot. Well, like I said, I've been through therapy too. And a lot of that is well, there was a book I read, but it basically talks about your self-image. There's a lot of books on that. But until you can actually begin to see yourself doing that, that's why a lot of people are like, I can't do it. And it's like, because your self-image of yourself is like, oh, I would never, if it's a guy, like I'd never be that caring or that open. So it's just a lot of things like, well, you have to start thinking that. And even when you do it at first, it's going to feel weird. You're going to be like, okay, this is awkward for me. And then it's like a muscle. The more you do it, you're like, oh, okay, this isn't so, like I started doing yoga. I played football in high school. I was a rocker, all this other stuff. And if you would have told me 15 years ago, you're going to do yoga, I'd been like, get out of here. But I've had, like, I do some Brazilian jiu-jitsu now, and it really messes with my back. And I've read other people who were Brazilian jiu-jitsu practitioners, and they started doing it. And my mind was like, okay, I'm a jiu-jitsu guy. Those guys are jiu-jitsu guys. They're doing this. Well, then now I can do this. Now I started thinking about, I'm like, okay. And then you do it. And again, obviously, my first few times of yoga were super awkward. But the more you do it, and now, like I tell my other friends, I'm like, you know, you guys should try this, number one, if you would have told me 10 years ago I was going to do it, I'd say no way. And even if I said maybe, I'd say, well, I wouldn't tell anybody about it. Now I'm telling everybody, like, yeah, it's great. You guys should try it. So yeah, I totally get, you know, that type of thing where people say, look, oh, we could never do this. I couldn't do that. But I think that's, again, part of your videos is showing people like, this isn't just for us. We're not an exceptional case. This is accessible for everyone, especially if you want to try. If you want it bad enough, your relationship's in trouble, you get that desperate point in your life, you go, I'll try anything.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
You know, just a quick side note. One of my favorite basketball players on the Warriors his name is Andre Iguodala.
Mm-hmm.
God, like he's just like God. And like I heard in an interview that recently he gave his coach a relationship book, which of course I got like totally even more turned on. And then two, he does yoga, so like he's an amazing dunk, and he's like, it's because of my yoga. And I'm like,
yeah.
More fucking hot. You're doing yoga, this relationship book to your coach, and you're a fucking god and hot. Like,
yeah, it's amazing. But that's a lot of it. Yeah, a lot of that starts with minds and being like people put limitations on themselves. Like I could never do this. And even with YouTube, I'll try to get people like post videos like, oh, I'm uncomfortable. I could never do that. I'm like, you could do that, but because, well, right, isn't that that's the thing in Star Wars where Luke's like, oh, I can't believe you did that. He's like, yeah, the reason why, how's that go, Steve? The reason why you can't believe is the reason why you fail. Or something like that. And he goes, yeah, that's why you're not doing what I'm doing is because you don't believe you can. So I think that's a lot of.
Tony Robbins has a good line like that. He says, if you can't, you must.
Oh.
Well, that's Tony Robbins.
If you can't, you must.
That's pretty
very challenging. Yeah. Well, I love to. Same thing. Like people kind of think Tony Robbins is a joke. You know, some people are like, Tony. I'm like, that guy is amazing. He's great. I don't know how he does it. Like, I don't know how he stays up all the time. But I'm like, yeah, that guy, again, is an inspiration. I'm sure you guys saw his documentary, I Am Not Your Guru.
You have to watch it. I've heard it's great.
I've heard it's amazing.
Great.
It's really, really good. Yeah. It's fascinating. And he does like a lot of CBT, but he does it super fast. So he starts, you know, obviously because he's seen so many people, he reads people so fast. He's like, oh, I see why you're doing that. you know, somebody has this issue and you think it's like, it's about that issue. He's like, no, it's not about that at all. It's totally this. And he's right so much. And he obviously doesn't have a lot of time to spend with some of these people. So he cuts right to it super, super fast. And the video, I Am Not Your Guru, kind of goes behind that and really shows, was really cool because he holds these huge seminars of 5,000 people. And he shows like behind the scenes after the 8-hour-a-day seminar. He goes to his team members. He's like, look, tell me who's suicidal. Tell me what notes you've got that people are suicidal, because we have to help these people. We want to help everybody, but we can't let these people leave without us directly reaching out to them and doing what we have to do. And some people he'll talk to, yeah, it's really, really good. Because like I said, he seems like he's got this little show and he does his thing, and you kind of wonder, like, is he really in touch with these people, or is he just putting on a show? But behind the scenes, he was really compassionate about the people that showed up, the money that they spent. So it was really, yeah, I would highly recommend it.
Well,
yeah.
I know you need to
So
go.
unfortunately, I have to go, and I feel like we're just getting started. But I'm eager to hear, more, and I'm excited at the opportunity to potentially work together. And we really want to be out there and famous and grow. And I don't know if Scott told you, but our goal is eventually the television show. So
yeah, I think it's well, there's a lot of people that get pitched different things, but starting with the YouTube and then getting a really good, strong YouTube following, and then obviously getting your own website, getting these classes, and people to start spreading the word about, success stories. Yeah. Okay. Good.
Thank you so much. It's wonderful to meet you. I really enjoy your energy and your insight, and I'm looking forward to whatever we do. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Awesome. Thank you. It was nice meeting you.
We're also leaving for San Diego either tonight or early in the morning. We're teaching a couple of workshops down there over the weekend. So it's, as always, a full time. What you just said, we already have an online membership site, and we already do online classes. You know that.
Yes. Yeah. I know. I just want to, the more we can use both of those, obviously the YouTube community is going to be great, and posting videos is fun, and that's good too. But we really want to get a bunch of people that have gone through your course and are raving about it. So the more we can do that.
Emily got, just in the last 2 days, she's gotten 2 amazing testimonials, because she's been revamping her personal website a little bit, just to kind of catch up, because mine's pretty elaborate and hers is getting kind of revamped. And we've got a lot of fans, and they're intelligent, mainstream looking people, therapists, doctors. We've got a doctor we're working with right now who just, we've changed his life. So
really?
That's
great.
Amazing people that, that our stuff has really impacted them in a very positive way. So we already have some video testimonials that are pretty cool, and we can always get more.
Well, that's what I was gonna bring up to you, because I was looking at the conversion, the landing page, and I know you got a lot of people there, but you just weren't converting that into emails or signups or really anything. Have you guys considered? I mean, I thought this was a good idea of hey, if you want more videos, sign up here, which you'd think that would work. But have you guys considered doing a live webinar? So it would be a sign up for a live webinar. And once you do it the first time, you can record it, and then anybody that signs up in the future.
We've done about 15 webinars over the last 2 years. We just did a webinar last week. We've done webinars on how to attract your guy, how to truly love a woman, cultivating emotional intelligence. And, with our webinars, we've definitely built our list that way. I think we've probably brought in, I don't know, maybe 1,500 email addresses through the webinars that we've done over the last couple of years. We like doing webinars. We use Webinar Jam. So but again, it's a slow build, and we're just curious other ways that we can build faster.
Do you and were you running Facebook ads for those? I'm assuming you were, or were you just going through your email list?
No, those through our email list. Now, one thing that I haven't really taken advantage of yet is building a strong affiliate program, because we do have a lot of friends that we could put together probably a pretty strong affiliate program, and it's one of those things that I'm in the awareness that we should do or need to do that I haven't done yet. Reach out to peers. I've been around the block for a long time. I have a lot of friends, a lot of people who believe in us. So if and when we come up with the right affiliate program and kind of how to utilize that, that's something that we haven't done.
Okay. And if you're broadcasting these webinars to people that have already, I don't know, how big was your email list? I remember you told me the first time.
Our email list is about 5,400.
Okay, that's what I thought.
So
I was going to say 55. Okay. Yeah. So if you're basically trying to get visitors from people that have either signed up already or have taken a course, that's why for me, what I would say is if you guys could have a webinar that is going to basically be a smaller version of your course, the courses that you want to sell, I would say try that and then run Facebook ads to that, as opposed to what we have here, which is you were running Facebook ads to this page, which is it's fine. It's not awful by any means, but people like to get this exclusive webinar that they're not going to see anywhere else. They can't find it on YouTube. The only downside I would have said to the landing page here, because you have the 3 videos, I might look at this and go, well, maybe I'll just find them on YouTube and find these videos. I'm sure they're private and they won't find them, but they might go, well, why sign up for this? I can maybe just find them here. And it might have been a distraction, right? Sometimes people go to a landing page and you're inadvertently sending them somewhere else. And because the 3 videos have that YouTube logo, that might have said, oh, well, maybe I'll click here. I'll find them on YouTube. So and webinars do really, really well through Facebook ads. So what I would suggest to you guys is to do, and I know this would be hard, but to go, okay, what can we do that's 30 minutes, or you could go longer if you need to, that's really going to give a really good overview of the course. On top of that, you can add some of those testimonials, because I've watched a lot of webinars on marketing, and the ones that I love, obviously, the more information you give, the more trust you're building to them, because you really, it's a chance for you to sell yourself and sell your program and how you can actually help people, as opposed to, like I said, the one that the landing page that I'm looking at is good, but any little written down blurb that we have with a picture does not do you guys justice. Okay, getting people to actually watch you, and even I watch the videos, having a one-on-one with you is even better. So if you could structure, what I would do is structure, if you will, like it would be a webinar, obviously, but a sales pitch in a way of just saying, look, this is what you're going to get. These are all the things we've done. This is where we've done this before. Here's some of the testimonies. You don't have to have a video testimony. You certainly could, but even if it's written of, this is what people have done. This is how many people have signed up. This is the feedback we're getting. And obviously, even before that, you're saying, here's some things that's in the course we're actually going to tell you right now. Obviously, you're not giving it all away. You know that. But you're just, you're really
so much. We've got so much content that we can easily give away an hour's worth of great stuff, and we've only tapped the surface. So we're not lacking in content. We're not lacking in tools and things to provide. Our Relationship Essentials course is 8 weeks, and really we've been talking about extending it next time to 12. Our Relationship Mastery course is 6 months. So we've got plenty of content. Now, one thing that's interesting was the webinars we've done in the past have always been 60 to 90 minutes, actually. And that includes, talking people up, greeting people as they come in, doing some permissions, and then whatever it is we're offering at the end, staying online and acknowledging the people who are buying whatever they're buying, and doing the first 5 people that buy right now are going to get a free 15-minute, we'll answer one question for free for you kind of deal. So that's how it's been in the past. I don't know if you know Taki Moore, but I did a 2-day workshop with Taki Moore, and so that's a lot of his kind of tips and techniques of what we've tried and what we've been, what we've used, especially with our webinar stuff.
And how did that go as far as selling the courses?
We primarily have used webinars to, we've done, I think, only one to sell the course. Most of the time we did webinars, it was to either increase our coaching practice or to sell the membership site, or to pitch a retreat, because we used to do a lot of live retreats. We've cut way back on that recently, although we've got a retreat coming up in April, a week long, for people who want to be love coaches. And then we just have started doing paid webinars, where people actually buy the webinar, and at the end we're selling something, but the webinar itself is pretty much just on a particular topic. We just did, as I said, last Sunday we did how to attract your guy for single women, and I think we got 25 paid people for it. It's not huge, but it's continuing to build, and we're just still exploring and trying so many different things.
Yeah, I just want, like, for me, well, initially when we spoke, your main concern, I don't know, was you guys spent ad money on this. You got people to it, but no conversions. You want to get people signed up for.
Well, we did get some conversions, but not many. Not in proportion to the number of people watching.
Yeah. But you were looking primarily for selling more courses and obviously eventually getting people into the membership program. When people buy the courses, is it a fairly high conversion rate to get those people back into the monthly subscriber? Is that, like, what are the numbers? It's pretty good? Yeah.
Yeah, it's really good. It's really
okay.
Good. And of course, what, almost, what would be the honest? What would it be? I would say about half the people who take one of our courses stay actively involved. They come to the practice groups, they stay in the membership site, they are in, we have a couple of Facebook private pages where we have ongoing communication. They get coaching when they hit a snag, or when they hit a problem, or they buy a coaching package, or they're referring us to friends. I'd say about half stay pretty actively involved in our community. And definitely Emily and I are creating a community. There's no, we go down to San Diego because we've got a really big community down there. We know if we go to San Diego, we're going to have at least 30 or 40 people come to every event that we do, and they're bringing more people, and it's growing.
Okay. Then selling the courses is a great tool to really start building that subscription base as well. So that's a good first two. We kind of talk about hoops to get people to jump through. That's a great hoop to eventually get them into the subscription. So, okay. Because I just want to make sure that I'm focusing on what you guys want versus what I think you guys want.
Yeah, well, of course. And I guess what I'm wanting to, find out is, what your strengths are. And I'm going to kind of update you on a couple things. By the way, I just have to ask before I forget, the Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, is it with the Gracie family? Is it their...
My instructor actually went through Baja Gracie, which is one of the derivatives of the Gracies. But Henner and Horian and all those guys. Yeah, I've watched a lot of their videos, and it's fun. Well, but
when the very first UFW, Gracie kept winning. He kept beating everybody, and that's when it was like jiu-jitsu of all these. And it was cool because I started watching it at the very beginning. And of course, the big question was, okay, all these different martial arts forms, who's going to win? And he fucking won every time.
Yeah.
And it was, whoa, wait a minute. Jiu-jitsu. You never would have guessed that jiu-jitsu was going to beat the karate guy or beat the boxer or beat the,
They even had a sumo wrestler in there, and they had everybody. Well, the funny thing about the Gracie dudes knew, because they had actually been doing that in California, saying, hey, go get your Kung Fu master, bring him in here, we'll whoop his ass. Go get your karate guy, we'll whoop his ass. So they knew, but the thing about it was the guy, Hoist Gracie, who was the the
Gracie,
guy that
yeah.
they picked. Yeah. Of all the Gracies, he wasn't even the best one. He wasn't even close to the best one. They chose him because he was one of the smaller guys. If they had picked, because there's another Gracie, Hickson Gracie, if they had picked him, he was a bigger dude. And what they didn't want was people go, well, he was big, so of course he won. So they actually picked the smaller guy so that people would be like, yeah, so there's this little dude, and he beat up this 250-pound guy. Then he beat up a 300-pound guy. They did that strategically. They're very good marketers as well. But yeah, it is. It's all. Everything was born from the Gracies. All the jiu-jitsu was yeah. So it's a lot of fun. Okay, so yeah, like I said, so for me, strength-wise, what we focus on is getting traffic, building your email list, and not only getting that email list, but then doing the email marketing to get people to continue to buy or get them from one group to another. So if they started in, whether it was just an email sign up, then it's like, okay, we want to take that group and get them to buy something small. Like I said, with the hoops, generally you go, if I get you to buy a $2 candy bar, then I can maybe get you to buy a $10, case of Coke.
Sure.
If I get you to buy a Coke, then I get you to buy a steak to go with the Coke. So we want to start moving people from one progression to the other. And that's what we do with email marketing by setting up these sequences. And really, with what we use, which is Active Campaign, you can really, which is better than, it's definitely.
I like Active Campaign.
Yeah, it's great. So we love it. And so we really start to optimize these lists. We really start to get in depth. If people have already started segmenting their list, then that's good. We can, take with what they have and really.
We've got about 25 segments. There's 25 categories in Active Campaign.
Good.
And we could actually even create more. I've got both. I started with Constant Contact, and I've had that for years.
Mm-hmm.
And actually still use it for, I use that instead of Eventbrite for, buying tickets to our live events or our online things, whatever we're selling tickets to. But then we added Active Campaign maybe 2 years ago when we started building the membership site.
Yeah. And we jumped on this about 6 months ago and we love it. And like for us, and I think I've told you this before, we used to really do a lot of social media, which was great. It used to be enough, but we found like we really want to get to where we can, I hate to say control, but we want to make sure that we're getting from social media or Facebook ads to where we're actually participating in what happens next. Because with some of our clients, we get them to the website or we get them to sign up one thing, but then the email marketing fails. They go, oh, well, this social media isn't working, or, to that effect. So we really want to make sure that we're following these leads all the way through and get them optimized so that we know we're going to get them from one, like we said, from one product to the other and really maximize that out. So that generally is what we focus on. Like I said, is getting, your Facebook, Twitter, I think actually would be really good for you guys since you have so much content. And, indirectly, YouTube. Like I said, people ask me about YouTube consulting, like, we need a YouTube expert. I'm like, you don't. You need to be consistent. And the things that we talked about last time. So if you guys ever have any questions about YouTube, obviously you just, let me know. I'd be happy to help you guys. So, but we would, like I said, we would focus on the Facebook ads. We would really help you guys optimize, because I think not doing a webinar specifically to get people into this, into these two programs, I think you guys are missing out. And I think if we did a couple of those, you would really see a lot better results. Because once we get them off of Facebook and say, okay, you watch this short video, now go to a little bit more in-depth video, and on top of it, if you guys really start providing some really good content, we're going to go, if this is what they're giving away for free, I can't even imagine what the course is. That's what we always say. Make whatever you giveaway you do so good that people go, oh my gosh, what they're going to do next has got to be great. So I think if we do that, you're going to see your conversions really go, I don't make promises, but I think they're going to be really, really good. Especially given you guys. Sometimes I get people in their products, I'm like, we're going to try. But with you two, I think like this is going to be great. It's really, really good. So yeah, I would say we'd focus on that. And then once we get that, we would really, for me, I'll be straight up. I'd like to take a look at your active campaign. If I feel like you guys got it handled, have at it, right? I don't need to meddle if there's nothing in it. If I look at it, okay, from everything that I've learned, I know you're taking, marketing courses as much as I am. But if there's things that I see, I'm like, okay, you guys aren't doing this, and this, then I'd say, we could really help you with that. And some of it might be things you just don't want to do anymore. But I know Active Campaign, the great thing about Active Campaign is how many segments you can have, all this other stuff. The bad thing about Active Campaign is how many segments you can have and all that stuff. Because you're just like, this could go on forever. We just keep going on forever and like keep drilling down. And so for some people, they don't want to do that. They want to hand it off. So like I said, for me, most of our clients, we take over the email marketing. But if you guys have a good handle on it, I just say, let's take a look at it. And if we think we can help, we'll definitely do that. If not, we'll leave it in your hands.
So just so you know, we've narrowed it down to two people. We, put out the call to marketing. And we narrowed it down to two, you and another wonderful woman named Wendy. And so, I don't want to, I want to find out kind of what, I guess the next step is, do you write up a proposal and send it to us of what possible budgets would be, what you would provide? Is that kind of what you guys do next?
That's exactly what we would do. And we obviously would like to go over the proposal with you guys. If we can do that. I know sometimes scheduling is troublesome. But yeah, we would definitely do that. And there's a few questions that I wanted to know before I jump off of this, so that when I build this proposal out, it'll help me out a little bit.
Sure.
Okay. So your average customer, so somebody that's bought something, what do they spend? What's the average that they would spend a year?
Well, I guess there's two primary customers. There's, in terms of larger stuff, people who are buying our online courses and people who are buying our coaching packages. And our coaching packages range, if it's just me or just Emily, it's somewhere in the neighborhood of $100 an hour up. The more sessions they buy, the cheaper it gets. The cheapest we ever go is $90 if they buy 13 sessions. That's if it's just us. It's 90 if they buy 12. It's 110 if they buy 6, and it's 125 so per hour. If they just buy 1. If it's Emily and I together, it's what is it? If it's Emily and I together, it's $225 an hour, or $175 per hour for 6 and $150 per hour for 12. And we almost only sell packages. We don't do one-offs. We might do a one-off just for a new customer, a new client, so they can get to know us. But then if they want to continue to work with us, they got to buy a package. And then our online courses range between $600 and $1,300, depending on whether they're getting coaching with it or not. The absolute lowest early bird price is $600 for the 8-week course. That's the lowest. The kind of standard price is $800. And then if they're getting coaching, then it's $100 per person per hour on top of that.
Okay. So if I was going to consolidate all of that stuff, I think it's fair to say that the average, and I know you kind of have two different price points here, but the average person that buys, it could be anywhere between $800 and $1,200. Obviously, it could be way higher than $1,200, depending on what they're doing. But I would say that's fair. Would you say that's fair to say, around $800 to $1,200?
I'd say that's if you're going to average it out.
Okay.
Between $800 and $1,200 is about right.
Okay. And so like specifically, and I know like the bigger goal is, TV program or growing out YouTube, at least to be very, very influential. What goals within like the practice? So if you said, look, if we had 50, like what's a good, well, let's put it this way. What's a good number for you guys that you want to achieve as far as email signups, to where you're like, okay, they're in the email marketing system, and now we can start, leading them towards our products?
In how much time?
In 1 month.
In 1 month? I mean, I'd love to see us adding at least 500 a month.
Okay.
Okay.
What are you guys at now?
In terms of coming in?
Yeah.
It kind of depends on where our focus is at different times. We're going to be really focused on, we're doing this tour, and then I'm teaching a 7-day immersive mentorship program for new love coaches. And that's a $1,500 base price, and then there's more if they get other things. And that's happening April 5th through the 11th. So between now and the time that we're done with that mentorship program, we're pretty book solid with this Southern California tour, the mentorship program, and a couple of other online events. Then our thought was, that's why we wanted to start interviewing marketing people. Then our thought is from mid-April on to do our next big campaign to grow our email list, and also to promote our next round of online courses. So, we kind of block it off in phases, and we're kind of imagining then the spring being home most of the spring, doing a lot of Facebook Lives, doing a lot of, whatever we decide we need to do to build our email list and to sell our next set of online courses. And then in the summer, we'll hit the road again. In the summer, we'll do more events, more travel, more promotion.
Okay.
So kind of just in general, spring and fall is when we like to be home primarily and doing online stuff. Summer and winter is when we like to travel more. And so.
Okay. So that's when you would have more opportunity to produce more content, more
Right.
live content. Okay. So you would assume, so you would say, okay, we want this many leads a month, but we do understand that in spring and fall, you'd have more opportunity because you're going to be doing that as opposed to summer and winter where you're going to be out.
Right.
Right. Okay.
We're out more,
Yeah.
And part of that is because where we live is fucking incredibly gorgeous in the fall, but come July and August, it's really hot.
Yeah.
And, recently, January, February, it's pretty rainy. So, that's why January, February, we do a lot of trips to Hawaii, the Yucatan, Southern California. And then in the summertime, we take trips to, that's when we go to places like Europe or Vancouver. We're going to Vancouver in June.
Nice.
That's a little cooler.
And so, okay, so if we move forward, what time frame were you looking to start?
I would say, when my mentorship program, we can have conversations, but we would start after the mentorship program. So say April 15th.
Okay. Right there for tax.
April 5 to 11.
Okay. And
that's one of the things just to remember. Another part of our business is the Love Coach Academy and actually training other relationship coaches. And we have kind of a certification process and different stages people go through. The 7-day that I'm doing in April is kind of like the first step of certification. The people that come to that get certified to lead a practice group. And then if they want to move up the ladder, then they have to do a more advanced mentorship program.
Okay. And how much were you guys, what's your budget? How much are you guys looking to invest in pros? There you are.
Honestly, we haven't set aside an amount. I wanted to see who came up with what budgets and what they would say they do. It's kind of new going on and looking for somebody to help us with marketing. So, we haven't set a certain amount aside. So I'm just kind of curious to see what's out there. But truthfully, of all the applications we got, we only talked to 3 people. And one of the people we eliminated, and then we're talking to you and we're talking to Wendy. So, that's
Okay. And I think for now, that's pretty much all I need to know. Any other information that I know? There's a lot on your website, but yeah, I think we're good to go. And
if you have other questions, feel free to ask or text, and I'll give you whatever information you need.
Yeah, I'm gonna need information on how you landed a young lady. So much you're younger. That's great.
And she's super smart. It's funny because most people,
Yeah.
when they first see us, they think, oh yeah, okay, well, he picked up a little hottie, But the thing about Emily is, it's like, yeah, she happens to be hot, but who she is, she's fucking amazing. She's a unicorn, man. She is a happy woman. She's like happy, like 98% of the time she's happy. And when she gets unhappy, she processes it so fast. I was always the guy who, because of, I teach this stuff, I was always the guy that, when my girlfriend and I got triggered, I'd be over it way faster than her. Right. Emily gets over it. Like, we were on this walk last week and she got triggered and she called me an asshole. And I got really triggered when she did that, because she's in 3 years never called me an asshole. And within 90 seconds, she's gone through what went on. She's cleared it, and she's like laughing and ready to be, cool. Let's have fun again. And I'm still like, no, you called me an asshole. I'm going to be mad about this for a little while, And it's like, she gets over it faster than I do. She takes tools she's learned from me, because most of what she does, she's learned from me, right? And she's like way better at it than I am. It's embarrassing.
Yeah, I have that. Like when I finished temporarily. But when I was going through therapy and as I was getting, better, we could say, at, processing stuff and all that, my therapist, she told me, she's like, she goes, yeah, you're going to have a problem now because you're going to see things and you're going to have this insight that a lot of other people don't. So that's going to actually make you a little bit more picky, I guess she said. You're going to see things and you'll be like, I'm not putting up, I don't want to say putting up with things, but there's just certain, she's like, your emotional intelligence is going to be higher than most people. And you're gonna have to wait to find somebody at that level now. And I was like, well, I can do that. That's fine. But it really does. I see people where I'm like, okay, so she seems cool. She seems this. And then all of a sudden it's just red flag. And I'm like, I can't do it. Yeah.
You single now?
What's that? Oh, yeah. Single now. Yeah.
Two things. We totally preach emotional intelligence. And whenever we're working with singles, whether it's single men or single women, that's what we always say is only date and get serious with people who are emotionally intelligent. And whatever you do, do not have sex with someone who's not emotionally intelligent. And then we give them these are the questions to ask. These are the conversations to have to just gauge what level of emotional intelligence they're at. We do entire courses on emotional intelligence. I think I told you I'm doing a course for a software company. They're headquartered in California, but their engineers are in the Ukraine. And I'm training 65 software engineers how to be emotionally intelligent.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
It's a really cool gig. They flew me out to the Ukraine in August to work with their leadership group, like their core leaders, and the leaders loved what I offered. And they're creating their whole advertising campaign is becoming, our engineers are, not only do they have high IQ, but they have high EQ. Because what happens is a lot of these guys, they're nerds, and they're super smart, but their emotional intelligence skills are fucked up. So, it's hard for them working with clients, and they get pissy, or they get, so by learning how to really drop into their client's world and have emotional intelligence, it's just making them way more well-rounded human beings, which makes them much more higher retention rate with the clients that they're working with.
Yeah, it was, you start to see, I don't know, I see things very, very quickly now. And like one of the big things was projecting. I was talking to this girl, this is so great. I was talking to her and I was just telling her, I was like, yeah, I'm going over my grocery list and I have a little budget. And she goes, oh, budget. She goes, what, are you cheap? And I was like, it came out of nowhere. It's one of those, I'm like, what? And I processed it. I'm like, well, I'm not cheap. I know I'm not cheap. I know, she's seen my house and she knows I'm not cheap. But I was like, why would she say that? I'm like, okay. And then it just hit me. I'm like, and I go, oh, you're a preschool teacher. I go, how's your budget? I immediately knew, like, she was, I think, defensive about the fact that she had a very low salary and she had to budget. So instead of me ever picking up on that, she immediately projected on me and labeled me as the cheap guy because she was a little insecure about the fact that because she was divorced. I'm sure her husband was making good money and now she's really got to scrimp and save. And you start to see these things. I'm like, oh, I see what you did there. And it's fun to be able to see it. And I was fine with it. I kind of laughed about it. I was like, okay, I get it, and it wasn't like it upset me. But you start to see certain things and certain behaviors. You're like, oh, that I never knew. And then I'll catch myself doing it. I'm like, oh, yeah. Like one time I was dating this girl and she was younger a little bit. But I just, she was saying, she's like, oh, I'm getting older. And I said, yeah, you're really getting older. And I was kind of playing it up. And I go, why are you doing this? I go, oh, because I'm insecure about myself getting older. So now I'm projecting it on her. And I'm like, don't do that. Don't make that worse for her. So yeah, there's a lot of things I'm getting into and seeing, and I'm like, oh, come on, Ray. But yeah, it is good, but it does kind of thin the herd a little bit when you start looking for people that are.
Hopefully it's going to thin the herd a lot, man.
Yeah.
You ask, what's the secret? One is that I got really, really picky and really selective because I decided I'm only going to partner with somebody who meets a lot of qualifications. And again, it's all about emotional intelligence. Why is she attracted to me? Certainly not my body. It's not my money. It's because I'm an highly emotionally intelligent guy who knows how to really listen to her. And we talk about relationship all day long. Her clients, my clients, our relationship, our dynamics, the dynamics of the world. And after 3 years, we still never get bored because we're constantly curious, learning, growing. So it's my openness that I'm super curious and honest and vulnerable, but still smart. Those are all qualities. That's what she's attracted to.
Yeah. Well, let's hope.
As women get older, and she's ahead of the curve. Most women don't get to where she's at until they're in their 40s. And she doesn't want to have children, and that really helps. If she wanted to have kids, then it would be, a whole different deal. She's really close. She doesn't want kids. I give her a lot of freedom. So she's got kind of the best of both worlds, I'm not a jealous dude. So she wants to go off dancing by herself, and she wants to have sexy dances with guys that are hot and hunky and look like Andre Iguodala. I'm going to right?
Yeah.
And then she's got the best of both worlds because then she comes back and she knows she's got a great guy waiting for her,
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's another thing is, give women, a woman like that, she needs a lot of freedom.
Right.
I support her freedom, and she's also got the stability, and I don't trip on her.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a big one too, where I was just like, yeah, I mean, I've always kind of been that. I've never been a super jealous guy. I was like, if you want to flirt with the waiter, I don't care. And now, like, hey, then we get home. I'm like, yeah, I'm going to take all that little flirtatious energy. I get the benefits. This is great.
Exactly. That's right. Yeah. That's right. That's exactly. You're a smart guy. That's the way to do it.
Yeah. Okay. Well, good.
Okay, man. I look forward to getting a proposal from you. If you need anything else from me, let me know.
Okay. Yeah. Tell Emily I said hi and bye, and we'll be in touch.
Okay. Take care, buddy.
Thank you.